Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing the Shop My Stash for the month of May. It is already the middle of May, so I'm a little late going for this. So the products that I picked today will keep throughout probably half the month of June as well. I'm going on vacation at the beginning of June, so this works out perfectly. Let's start off with the products I picked for the month of April. I'll let you know what I think about them, if I got a chance to use them, what I'm decluttering, yada yada. So I've been storing the products that I pull from my Shop My Stash in this big drawer. Before, I had a bunch of stuff in here that wasn't getting used, and I didn't think that made a lot of sense, considering it was right at my fingertips when I went to do my makeup. So I decided to store everything in this section over here. So all of this is from my April Shop My Stash. There are quite a few things in here that I never got to try. I, for whatever reason, hesitated every time I went to use it, which tells me it's something that I probably shouldn't keep around, or I need to force myself to use it, otherwise it's really silly to hold on to it. So starting off in that category, let's go ahead and pull this. This is the Lancome Absolute Powder. I bought this a long time ago watching a Jaclyn Hill video. She raved about it. It's fallen apart. It's very peachy. It darkens my makeup and looks silly on me when I use it. I did not use it this Shop My Stash. It just kind of chilled in here. So I'm going to declutter that, finally. The other powder I picked was the Nakia Joy powder. This one's very heavy. It's good if you have oily skin. Does a great job mattifying, but it also darkens my makeup. So I did get some use out of it. I will continue to use it in the future, but I'm going to pull it out of my Shop My Stash. The Chantecaille, what is this called? Future Skin Oil-Free Gel Foundation. I did not use this. It's a little bit, it's got that orange tint to it. And I don't know why I hesitate so much to use this. I kind of want to leave it in and force myself. So that's what I'm going to do for that. Speaking of foundation, if you all have been with me for a little while, you've heard me talk about this RCMA palette. It's kind of like an all-in-one palette. You can use it for concealer. You can use it for foundation. It's even got that could be a contour shade. You can use it for bronzer, whatever. I've had this for several years and I just never used it. This is a very expensive palette. I think it's like $80 some. So I finally forced myself to use it during the Shop My Stash, and it burned my face. No fault of the palette. I'm sure it's probably because it's really old. So guess what? That one is finally going to get decluttered. I don't know why I waited so long to use it, because it did look beautiful once I used it. But yeah, it burned my face, so not excited to use that again. The rest of the foundations here, the Pat McGrath Sublime Fetish or Skin Fetish. It's not a favorite foundation, but I will continue to use it. So I did use it as a mixer during this Shop My Stash. The CoverGirl Olay Simply Ageless, it's just not my shade. And it feels a little heavy, a little thick. So I'm going to pull that and I'm going to declutter it. The Catrice True Skin Hydrating, it's like a serum foundation. I like to use that as a mixer. It's way too light for my skin tone. But it works if I'm trying to lighten up a foundation, and it's very lightweight. This KVD Good Apple Serum Foundation is not my favorite. I can't wear it alone. It looks really heavy. It settles into all my lines. I did not use it during this Shop My Stash. And I don't know why I didn't just use it as a mixer. So I don't know. I'm going to pull it out. I don't exactly want to declutter it yet because it is a new product. I'm just not exactly thrilled to use it again anytime real soon. Should probably just get rid of it, but I'm hard-headed. This is the Almay Foundation. It's got salicylic acid in it. I don't know if I used this as a mixer. I feel like I did. It does look a little deep for my skin tone. Do I want to just get rid of this? I don't know what to do. I'm going to save it for now. We'll see if I can get more use out of it in the future. The Hourglass Foundation Stick. I've had this since I started my channel. Very soon after, which means I've had it for far too long. I'm not big on foundation sticks anyway, just because I have oily skin. So these cream products don't last that long. And it has a tendency to bunch in my fine lines and wrinkles, since I do have, I've got some fine lines and wrinkles, y'all. I'm almost 40. Do I want to, my whole purpose in pulling it during this Shop My Stash was I was forcing myself to use it, and then I didn't use it. Dang it. I really want to get one more shot with it, because I've never liked it. And so many people raved about how wonderful this foundation stick was. I'm going to leave it in. I'll leave in that and the Chantecaille. And if I don't use it this month, those both are going to get decluttered. I said it. The No Filter Primer from ColourPop. I don't think I used that. during this Shop My Stash, so I'm actually going to leave that in. I just don't think it does a whole lot. The last time I used it was for a video that I did with all ColourPop products. I just don't remember it doing a whole lot. The Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. I don't think I used this during this Shop My Stash. You know, I really didn't do my makeup on my off days, like when I wasn't at work, which means all the products that are not long wearing didn't get used. So, do I want to leave that in too? I kind of do. I think maybe when I pull my primers, I'll just pull one since I have these two in here. But I really do want to get some more use out of it. Okay, next up is the number 7 Match Made Custom Blend Foundation Drops. And this is something that I can use when I have a foundation like this one that's way too light for my skin tone. I can put a couple of blobs of that in there and it deepens it up. So I don't really need to use that in a Shop My Stash. I'm just going to put it back. I don't think I used it during this one, so don't need to keep it in. Okay, the concealers I pulled were the KVD. Is this the Good Apple concealer? I think. And then this one is the Bare Minerals Liquid Mineral Concealer. I did use both of those quite a few times actually, but they're both concealers I cannot use on their own. The KVD because it's way too light, so I have to mix it with something deeper. And this one because it's just not, it doesn't give as much coverage as I typically like. So I usually mix this in with something that's got more coverage. I mix that in with something deeper, and they work like that for me. So I am going to pull them out of this rotation. Oh, I want to show you guys my edition, the new edition. You want to say hi? Say hi, Luna. She's my pretty girl. Yeah. We got her from the Humane Society a few weeks ago, and she is such a sweet baby. She's rotten, and she's sweet. All right, moving along. The ColourPop Super Shock Cheek. This one is in Lunch Money. I did get some use out of this. It's just a really beautiful highlighter. The only thing I don't like about these is sometimes they're kind of wet, and they can remove the foundation underneath if you're not careful. So I really do like it, though. It's pretty. Oh, this one. This is the Tarte Chrome Paint Pot in Martini. My goal with this was to use it like one last time or just get rid of it. It's just not the type of product that I go for nowadays. I really don't have time to do eyeshadow hardly at all anymore, which is silly that I keep buying all these single shadows, but those are like different because they're special and shiny and shifty. This is just something I've had for a long time. It's just a single shadow in a pot, basically. It's really nothing that special anymore. Used to be. Do I need to hang on to that? Am I going to actually ever use it? I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter that. I don't see the point in hanging on to it if I don't plan to use it. Next up is the Will Powder Blush from the Balm. Really beautiful mauve blush. I did get some use out of it. I'm going to put that back. The Hourglass Luminous Flush. This is like their mini blush. I did get some use out of this. It's a really beautiful blush. Yeah, definitely not going anywhere, but I can take it out of rotation. The L'Oreal Infallible Bronzer. I have mine in 300 Light Medium. It is a little too warm from what I typically like. It's not terrible. It's definitely not my least favorite bronzer that I own, but it's just a little bit too warm for my liking. I honestly don't know. I was going to say I don't know if I used it. I did. I used it once. Do I really even want to hang on to this? I do. I'm just going to take it out of this rotation. I like having affordable options to share with you all too, so that's why I want to keep it. It's just not a favorite. The Too Faced Foundation. This is their Cocoa Powder Foundation. I really do like this. I just don't use powder foundation that often. It's super smooth. The sponge is pretty nasty, but this is a super smooth powder. Really beautiful. I just barely ever use this type of product, so I'm going to take it out of rotation. I think if I did use it, I used it like once. I honestly cannot remember though. The Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy Highlighter. This is like an oldie but goodie. It is such a great product. It has such a nice tone to it, so it can work for a lot of different skin tones. And I definitely got some use out of it for this rotation, so we're going to pull that back out. The Glowish Bronzer. I have mine in 01 Light. And it's not my favorite, but it is decent. This is a good bronzer, so I definitely got some use out of it. I'm going to pull that out. The Dior Rosy Glow Blush. I have mine in this bright-ass pink. It's beautiful. It does not come across this bright pink when you put it on the cheeks. I don't know how that happens, but it works, and it's really pretty, and I got some use out of it, so we're pulling it out. The Bobbi Brown Highlighter. This one is in Afternoon Glow, and it's just a really pretty, almost, I was going to say like a bronzy pink, kind of. When I look at it like this, it just looks bronzy, but there is a pink tone to it, like in real life. I don't know why. It looks a lot different on camera here. It's a really beautiful highlighter though, so not going to go anywhere. I'm going to hang on to that. I did get use out of it. Okay, let's get the stuff out of the back here. This stuff got forgotten about. Some of it did. And the whole reason I put it in this drawer was so it wouldn't get forgotten about, and just being at the back there, some of it got forgotten. The KVD Shake Primer. This is supposed to be an eyeshadow primer. You shake it up. It's got this little dropper thing where you drop it on your finger, I guess, and put it on your eyelid. I don't know. It's such a strange product. It ends up being a little sticky, like tacky almost. I tried it earlier just to see what shadow looked like blended over top, like on the back of my hand. And it wasn't awful, but it's just not the kind of product that I'm going to use, like on the daily. So I kind of want to declutter this. I just don't see myself using it. So I'm going to declutter it. There, I made the decision. This is the Fenty Beauty Cream, almost said bronzer, the Cream Blush in the shade Daiquiri Dip. It is a very, very bright, almost like a corally color. And I think I used it once. I mean, this is the type of shade that, like, I can't exactly put that on and go to work because it's a little too bright. But it does tone down a little bit if you put it on and then powder over top. It'll tone it down a little bit so it's not so bright. But I did use it, so we're going to take it out of rotation. I do like it still. It's a beautiful shade. It's just, it's a little loud, that's all. The Merit Bronze Balm Sticks. So I have mine in 2 different shades. I have Clay and whatever that one is. They're very, very, very similar in tone. They might be like half a shade off from each other. They were sent to me from Merit. I was given the opportunity to pick 2 different products. And instead of picking 2 different products, I picked the same type of product, just different shades, because I wasn't sure what shade I needed. And they're just so very similar, it really doesn't matter. So I did use them towards the beginning of this month. They're just not my absolute favorite product. It's not terrible. I don't know. Maybe it's the tone that's just not my favorite. But I did get use out of them, and I'm going to pull them out of this rotation. Oh boy. This here was in last month's rotation, and I told myself if I didn't use it, I was going to get rid of it. Or, you know, I just wanted to get some use out of it this time around. It is a highlighting stick, and it's got like a shimmery... Is that condensation on that? Ew, it is. Anyhow, I did get some use out of it, and it's old. I've had it for a long time. It needs to go. It's not something that I'm going to reach for, like, ever. So I don't know why I felt the need to keep it in this rotation. I'm struggling. But it just needs to go, and this is something that can go in the garbage. So let's just do that there. Okay, next up, another product like that. The Highbrow from Benefit. It's just supposed to highlight your brow bone. A light pink shade. You know, I just don't use products like this very often. I kind of felt like I wanted to keep it because I can use this as an eyeliner. I can use this on my waterline. So I think that's what I'm going to keep it for. It's just not something I'm going to use underneath the brow. I don't ever do that. So, no. You know what? That needs to go. I'm going to declutter it. I have a pink eyeliner. I don't need to keep that. It's ridiculous. The Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. I love this product. I don't think I used it that much this month, believe it or not. It was in my Shop My Stash, obviously, and I think I used it twice. But this is the second tube I've had of this, so I've definitely gotten enough use out of the product in general, so I don't need to keep it in this rotation. Yeah, I was just trying so many other bronzers this month, so I didn't get that much use out of it this time around. The Icing from Glam Light. This is their eyeshadow base. I didn't do eyeshadow but like once this month, so I did not get use out of this. I'm going to leave it in my rotation. The Freckle Pen, or whatever you want to call it. Didn't get any use out of this because, again, the only time I did makeup was when I was going to work, so let's keep that in rotation. This is another product I did not use, the Peter Thomas Roth Instant Firm No Filter Primer. I just don't know how I feel about this because I've only used it like once. So I need to keep it in this rotation. I pulled 3 mascaras, and I used no mascaras from this Shop My Stash. These are older. I've had them for at least 6 months, if not longer. The idea of using them on my eyeballs scares me just a little bit. And I think maybe it's time for all of them to go. Okay, so I opened each of them just to see what the consistency of the formula looked like. And these two are definitely starting to get a little dry. This one's got the extensions in it. I don't know. They both scare me because I've had them for a while, and I'm afraid it's going to get in my eyes and give me an infection, so I'm going to throw those away. I'm actually going to hang on to the Merit mascara. It's not one that has ever been a favorite of mine, but it does the job. It's just a normal run-of-the-mill mascara. So I'm going to keep it in this rotation since I did not use it. And because it's not that old, I don't need to pitch it. Okay, next we need to talk about the products in this little section here, and then we can get into the stuff for this month's Shop My Stash. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury face palette. I think, what is this called? The Nudegasm? Yeah, the Nudegasm face palette. I really love this. It's so easy. It's got a really beautiful contour shade, a bronzer. You got that shimmery blush, and then you got a highlighter. So I definitely got some use out of it. I can pull it out of this month's rotation. The Noctilucent palette from Blend Bunny. It's a colorful highlighter palette. Because I didn't do that much eyeshadow, I didn't really see the need of doing all this colorful highlighter. That's just kind of how my brain works. I coordinate the two. So I did not get any use out of this highlighting palette. Do I really want to keep it in this rotation? I don't feel like I'm gonna... Look at the rainbow. It's pretty. I'm gonna take it out. I just have a feeling I won't use it. So I really probably shouldn't have bought it. It's something that I'll use for more creative looks, and I haven't had time for creative looks. The Benefit Blush Bar, I've had this for a very long time. The powders still work beautifully. They smell fine. The formula feels fine. I did get some use out of it during this rotation, so I'm pulling it out. Last but not least, the One Size Blush Trio. This one is very that. I got use out of the cream. Actually, I think I used all three. I did. So let's pull it back out. It's a nice product. It's probably not my favorite blush, but yeah, that is that. So we got a little handful of products there that are getting decluttered. Those are the ones that are getting put back in my collection. And that is what is staying in this rotation. Almost forgot the products over here. This is the eyeshadow selection that I had pulled. Now, if you watched my Shop My Stash for the month of April, then you saw me pull some single shadows. Well, guess what? I'm doing a favorite single shadow video, and I pulled them all and put them back where they belong. So, yeah, I think I used 2 of them this month, and I can't remember which ones those were. So I apologize, but those are already back in my collection. I had pulled the It's Freakin' Bats palette from Shroud, and it was their collaboration with Butte Bean, and it is such a gorgeous eyeshadow palette, but I did not use it because I only did my shadow once. I had also pulled the Retro Glam, and as I said in my last video, the ones that are missing right here, it's because I made my own palette, which I'm about to show you, with Natasha Denona singles, so I did not use that. I did use this. Goodness. I used a couple shades out of here to create a look with a few days ago, and that's the only time I did my shadow all month, which is a shame, considering how many eyeshadow palettes I have. But this is the palette that I created with the Natasha Denona singles that I have, and I think it's beautiful. But when I went to use it, like in practice, it's a little hard to put a look together. And then I had also pulled this, which is her mini retro palette, and I did not get a chance to use it. And then I had pulled this, which is all of the Natasha Denona eyeshadows from her midi palettes that I own. And I did use some out of here when I created my look the other day. So I'm going to put all of those back into my collection. I don't see the need to hold them out because I'm probably not going to do eyeshadow. And I'll probably pull more this month because that's what I do. And whether I use them or not is to be seen. Okay, let me get this cleaned up and then we'll go through my collection and pick out the products for this month. Looking at what I already have, I have 3 primers in here. I might pull one more. So let's do that first. I don't want you up here, Miss Ma'am. No. That's why my leather chair looks like it does. No, no. So rotten. She's so rotten. Hi, baby. Such a rotten baby. Such a rotten girl. Yeah. Hi, honey. Okay. All right. Hop down. Sweet and ornery. Yeah, I know it. So, one more primer. If it's something I want to get use out of, it's going to have to be something that can work with my everyday makeup wear, like when I'm going to work. If you all have been here a while, you know that the oil and shine control is what I use on a daily basis. It keeps my makeup matte, keeps the oils at bay, so that's why I have so many of them. It's just the GOAT. It is the best. Obviously, I don't want to pull that if that's what I use every day anyway. I think I'm going to pull this one. I feel like the last time I used this, it burned my face, but I don't remember, so if it does it again, I'll just get rid of it. I can't have you jumping into my stuff, okay? I can't. Thank you. Maybe I should shut that. So that's the only one I'm going to pull since I have other primers. Let's move down to concealers and odds and ends. I recently picked up the Glowish concealer. It's just very dewy. It reminds me of the Glowish. It reminds me of this. I almost feel like it's the same exact product. They just put it in a little concealer tube. It's very glowy. So the top product is the Glow, like this product, and the bottom is the Glowish concealer. Definitely a different tone difference, but in terms of the product itself, I don't know. I just feel like it's pretty similar. Okay. I don't know what to pull here. Look at the different tones. We got yellow, we got neutral, pink. So many different tones. Okay, for concealers, I think I want to pull the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I used to love this. It's actually kind of old, so I don't know if it's expired. I guess I'll find out. It's in the shade Marshmallow. It's a little deep for me as a concealer, but I'm going to pull it anyway, and we're going to try to get some use out of that. I'm also going to pull this Winky Lux Peeper Perfect Concealer. It's supposed to be full coverage. It's a little bit more on the luminous side. I don't remember my full thoughts on it when I purchased it, so let's pull that one. Is that all I want to pull? I feel like I want to grab one more. I just have a lot, and I feel like there's a lot I don't use enough. The struggle. CoverGirl. Let's pull the CoverGirl concealer. I haven't used that in a while. In terms of the stuff over here, I don't really think there's anything I want to pull. Okay, I'm going to get out of that drawer, though. Moving down to the powder drawer, I need to buy another one of these. Like, I have used the shit out of this. It's such a fantastic finishing powder. Very lightweight. It's not heavy. It's not cakey. It works well to, like, even out whatever you got going on. You know, mesh everything together. But as you can tell, it's getting down to the bare wire here. I need to order another one. I love it. So I'm not going to pull that one. I also recently bought this, the Butter Glow Perfecting Powder, but this ended up being, it says it's like a finishing powder. This ended up being more like a highlighter in my opinion. It's very glowy. You know, like look at that. Doesn't it look more like a highlighter? I don't want to put that all over my face. I just feel like that would maybe be a little much. I'm going to pull my Peach Perfect powder. I've loved this for a long time. It's such a great powder. Very mattifying. Tastes like peaches. Every now and again I'll pull it. It's fun to use. It smells nice. Okay, bronzers. Man, this is the category that absolutely blew up this past year. I have even more in my vanity drawer. I have a lot of newer products in this section here. I put there because I wanted to get use out of them since they were new. And I did. I might also pull some of those during my Shop My Stash. Yeah, between the bronzers and blushes, I've lost my shit this year. I bought way too many. I am going to pull this one from Rare Beauty. It is their cream bronzer stick in the shade Bright Side. And it's not my absolute favorite tone, but it does work. It's just a little bit too warm toned, you know, from what I typically like. It doesn't look like it, but it is a little bit. It's still a great product though. Nice formula. So, God, I'm just dropping things all over the place. Oh, before I go back to bronzers, this Iconic London, it was marketed as a, was it a blush? I think it was marketed as a blush slash bronzer product almost. And it reminds me of like a satin eyeshadow, the way the formula is. It's so silky smooth and it's got this sheen to it. But man, when you put it on the cheeks, it is beautiful. So I'm going to pull that. I'm probably also going to pull more from that little section, but let's go back over here. I also wanted to pull the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. I used it in my last try-on video, and it's got a really nice tone to it. Mine is in the shade, is it Tan Lines? Yes. Very beautiful tone of bronzer. So I want to pull that. And then I also want to pull, yes, this one. I picked up the MAC Radiant Skin Finish Bronzer in Rosy, Light Rosy. I used it in my last video. It is such a beautiful bronzer. It's got this really pretty sheen to it. And it's got this pinky brown hue. You can't really tell on the swatch there, but it is. Come on, turd. There you go. It's so pretty. Very pretty. Anyhow, I'm pulling that. I want to pull at least one product that's not new. So, in terms of bronzers, I want to get use out of stuff that's been lingering here. Maybe I'll try something over on this side. I kind of want to force myself to use this one. This Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. I've said it like 80 times now in my videos. It's dry. Like very dry. And it's a little hard to manipulate the product because of how dry it is. But it has a nice tone to it. So I kind of want to make it work. So let's pull it. I have mine in the shade Fair Pale. Because I am fair pale. Okay. Let's get out of the bronzer drawer here. There's just so many. Do I want to declutter anything while I'm here? You know, what is really left of this bronzer? I don't see much bronzer, do you? The squares on the bottom, that's the pan. There's a lot of the finishing powder that's left, but the little streaks of bronzer, they're gone. So, you know what? It's time. It's time. Diffused Bronze Light, my little miniature, it's time to go. I'm pretty sure that's what this one is. Yeah. I have a major, I have a larger version of that one. It's such a beautiful bronzer. So I don't need the little mini that's barely scraping by. I think I'm going to pull the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula. I've had this for a long time. As you can see, it's busted and then we had to fix it, put alcohol in it and then mash it back in. So that's why it looks the way it does. But as you can tell, there's been a lot of use with this product, and it wasn't me, it was my daughter. My daughter used a lot of this because it just wasn't my favorite tone, but I just swatched it. It's the right swatch, and it's actually a decent tone as far as I can tell compared to some of the other bronzers I have. So that's the last bronzer I want to pull. We got 2 new and 2 old. Okay, now it's time to get out of this drawer. Oh, my blushes. This is a drawer that I'm very ashamed of. I'm not really sure what the obsession is with blush, but it's real. And it's a little ridiculous. So it's hard to pick blushes because there's just so damn many of them. I also have some here that I picked up recently because I'm a psycho. And yeah. I think I've used, oh, I have. I've definitely used this one. It is beautiful. The Rare Beauty Blush in Love. Such a pretty terracotta shade. I also used this recently. This is the Mod Con blush from KVD in the shade Glasscade. Very beautiful, cool toned pink. I also used this one recently from Danessa Myricks. This one is in the shade Rose and Brunch. Another, like, terracotta shade almost. Very beautiful. This one here from Patrick Ta. Upon looking at it, it looks like it would be a bronzer, but it's a blush, and it is beautiful. It's not my typical blush shades. It's She's So LA, and I really love this. I loved using the cream portion of this. It's just such a pretty shade when you have it on. It's a very warm-toned blush, and it meshes well with the bronzer, too. So I do want to pull that one, get more use out of it. I also tried some of these back here from Chic Glam. They're fine. They work fine. They're all beautiful blushes. Didn't pick up the product underneath, so I I just have way too many and it's overwhelming, and yeah, I don't need to buy any more blush for as long as I'm alive, but I'm sure I will. It's hard to pick out blushes without knowing what my end look looks like because I like to coordinate. I picked these up recently. Very beautiful from Too Faced. I don't think I tried this putty blush. I didn't. Let's pull that. I tried this recently. Also very beautiful, super bright red. I can't remember if I tried the Milani. I'm not sure. Let's pull it, just in case. I want to pull one more. Just so many. So many good blushes, too. MAC. Oh my god. It goes all the way back. Like, there's a whole nother row back there. Oh my god. If you all would be interested in me doing, like, an updated blush collection video, let me know. I have so many blushes. And I mean, blush can really tie together a look. I love blush. So if you guys would be interested in an updated blush collection video, let me know. I would love to film it. I want something a little bit more neutral because I've already got some brighter ones picked out. I do really like this one from Charlotte Tilbury. The Booby Blush. This one is in Sex on Fire. It's a really beautiful neutral shade. So, oh, I stabbed it. I'm sorry. Like petting a booby. Okay, let's pull that. Okay. So, we're going to move along to the highlighters. I have two in here that I have been getting use out of. This one's from MAC, and it is in the shade Double Gleam. Very beautiful. It's like a, I was going to say an iridescent. Is it? Kind of. It's just an icy highlighter. It's really pretty though. But because I've been getting use out of it, I'm not going to pull that one. This one from Bobbi Brown is in the shade Pink Glow. And I believe I got this on a really good discount from TJ Maxx. And it's really pretty. I'm going to pull that one. I've used it a couple times, but I would love to get more use out of it. Let's move up here to the other highlighters. This is also one I picked up recently from MAC, and this one's in the shade Show Gold, and it is so beautiful. I have gotten some use out of it just because I'm like completely enamored with this shade. If I can get it open. It is a duochrome, and it's got like a pinky peach shift to it. It's so pretty. So we won't pull it since I've been using it, but yeah, I just wanted to share it with you. So I did pick up a few newer highlighters recently as well, and one of them was this one from Rare Beauty, and this is their Positive Light highlighter. I think that's what it's called, and Enlighten. And let's see if I can do this with one hand here. This one is their more like icy shade. It's very icy, but it's very pretty. I'm going to pull that one. I don't think I've used this one from Pat McGrath yet. I got this one from TJ Maxx as well. It is their Skin Fetish Sublime Skin Highlighter in Venusia Nude. And I've been a little hesitant to use it because it looks a little bit deep. For my skin tone anyway. God, look how pretty that is. I need to use that. So, wow. Let's pull it. That means I've pulled 3. Is that enough? You know what? Let me pull the old school Becca highlighter. This one is in... should be Moonstone. Yes. And it's very, I was going to say subdued. It's definitely glowy, but it's not like sparkly glowy. It's one of those ones that you can wear with just about any look, and it just gives a little sheen to the cheeks. So let's pull that one. Okay. I need to back away from the highlighters. The face palettes. Ooh, you know, I bought this. I said I needed to back away from the highlighters. I bought this glow kit, and I have used it a couple times, but it's got, there's just so much that I can use in here. All of these work with my skin tone, and they're really beautiful, so that's the last of the highlighters. I'm not pulling any more. I would like to pull at least one product from here. What do I want to pull from here? Something that I haven't used in a while that I can get some use out of. You know what? I lied. I'm going to put this one back, and I'm actually going to pull this one from Tarte. This is a product that I had a long time ago, and then I decluttered it, and you guys are going to think I'm out there, but I don't actually throw away the products I declutter. I keep them, and then long time after I declutter it, I'll look through them. If I don't already give them to family members and whatnot, I'll look through them, and sometimes I pull them back out because I have problems. And this is a product that I pulled back out because these highlighters are gorgeous. And I don't know why this got decluttered in the first place, but like this pink one, it's so hard to see how beautiful it is. I'm going to pull this instead, so we're going to do a swap-a-roo, and Anastasia is going to go back in the drawer. I think I want to pull the Lunar Beauty Moon Prism Blush Palette. I haven't used this in a while. I do have quite a few blush palettes. Like, I've got both of the Jaclyn Hill, or the Jaclyn Cosmetics Rouge Romance palettes. I have the Scott Barnes blush palette. I've got the one from Benefit that I pulled last month. I just have a lot of blushes, as you have seen. So, I haven't used this in a while, and I really want to get some use out of it, so I'm pulling it. Okay, let's move down. This is my sample drawer, and I really just don't have the time or energy to process what's in there, so let's not pull something from there. We have not picked out foundations yet. This is such a tough category because I know what works, like when I'm going to work, stuff that's long wearing, stuff that's matte. So it's hard to use the products that I picked up that are not matte and long wearing, and I have quite a few of them. Honestly, could declutter some more, and maybe I will. Let's pull the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie. I can mix that with something lighter. I've always wanted to use this one, but it's so yellow. I've never been able to use this like on its own, and it's getting old, so I'm going to force myself to mix it with something. Is this a full bottle? You know what? I have a full one of these. It's definitely not the right shade, but I bought it thinking I could mix it in with lighter foundations. I do have... Oh, I haven't used this in a long time. You can see where where it's settled at the bottom. Maybe I'll mix that in with something and finish the bottle. I said no, ma'am. Can I help you? What are you doing? You're not supposed to be up there. You're not. No, ma'am. No. You're not supposed to be up there. No, ma'am. No. No, honey. Freaking rotten. What are you doing? No. So we pulled these 3. Let's pull one more. What have I not used in a long time? I think I want to pull the NARS Radiant Longwear. I really do love this foundation. It's not one I can wear alone though, but I like using it as a mixer, and I haven't done that in a while. So let's pull that little mixture right there. Okay, now I can look at single shadows and eyeshadow palettes while keeping in mind I'm probably not going to use them, so I don't want to spend a whole lot of time pulling them. What are you doing? What are you doing? Ow. What are you doing, man? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, shh. I'm going to stick these in my little section over here. I didn't pick out any more mascaras. That just reminded me. So, while I was at the Dollar General today, getting some things for the house, I saw that Belief Beauty, their house brand, had a couple of mascaras they came out with. So I bought both of them because they were very inexpensive. We've got the High Drama Fiber Mascara, and then we've got the Extended Lash Lengthening Mascara. And which one do I want to try? I want to try this one. It's supposed to lengthen, lift, and separate without clumping. We'll see about that. Let's pull that one. Okay, so this is what it looks like in the drawer. I just kind of tried to organize it to the best of my ability. It doesn't make much sense, but it's here. It's all in one central location. All right, let's move on to the eyeshadow portion now. Okay, so when I'm looking for eyeshadow palettes going forward for the, well, like I said, we're in the middle of May right now, so the month of May, month of June, I want things that are going to be a little bit summer appropriate because I am going to the beach, so whatever I pick out is stuff that I want to be able to wear to work, want to be able to wear at the beach. If I even wear anything eyeshadow related at the beach, I'm not sure. But I'm thinking like colorful, bright colors. Also maybe some neutrals for work. So I don't want to pick a lot of stuff because I know I won't use them. I just get overwhelmed. But I would like to pick something, you know, I would like to have at least some selection. I got this palette from Adept. I bought it last month sometime, I think, and I haven't used any of it yet. I'm tired of pulling things that I just don't end up using. I think I'm going to skip on the Adept palette for right now. They're really beautiful, but for whatever reason, I'm just not drawn to that one. However, I'm being drawn to this one from Menagerie. It's their Indigo Ink palette. Maybe because it's like underwater type theme. Got the octopus on the front. But there's some really beautiful colors in here. I can see me rocking this Ink Floyd color, putting like a really pretty shimmer over top. Like, how beautiful would that be? Especially at the beach. So I want to pull this palette. This is another Menagerie palette. It's their collaboration with Annette's Makeup Corner. It's their Serenity palette. A lot of beautiful colors in here too. And I've only used this palette like twice. Let's pull that one. Okay, I've got my color. I need to back away from the color now. There's just so many good palettes. So many good ones, and not enough time to use them all. Like this one. Hold up. This is the Escape Pod from Kaleidos. Like, look at the bright colors in here. So pretty. I need to stop. Okay. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot that I got this palette. Completely forgot about it. I ordered the Chucky palette from Glamlight. I ordered it on a pre-order, and it took a long time to get to me. And they threw in a bunch of extras, which I was not expecting. I got like a mascara and a lip gloss. This is more of a fall-themed palette. It's really grungy, like an anti-Valentine's Day palette or something, but it is so pretty. I love the grungier tones. I'm going to pull that, and maybe I can make it work. Maybe I can make it work. All right, back out of there. I feel like there was something in here I needed to play with. Actually, did I even play with this? I don't think I did. This is the Nubian Earth from Juvia's Place. I purchased this from Ulta a while ago. I was so entranced by this really sparkly shade. I don't think you can fully see the beauty of it. It looks like just like a regular shimmer, but it's got all these little different colored sparkles in it. I'm simple, okay? It drew me in. I bought it. So maybe I should put that in the mix, and then I think that should be it. Because Lord knows I'll be lucky if I use one of those. Oh, I lied. One more. See, I did it again. I got 5, and I did not want to do that. But some of these are newer, and I haven't had a chance to use them. This is the Don't Be Jelly palette from Unearthly. I bought this a couple weeks ago, and I have not had the opportunity to use it. So this will be another one to take to the beach with me, to use some of these really pretty, bright, shifty shades. Like, look at this. There's some really pretty shades in here. If you can see. Yummy. Yep, let's pull it. Okay, that's it. No more. That is it. I do want to pull a couple of my singles, and then we will be done with this Shop My Stash. So this is going to be a fun selection to pick out some singles to go along with them, because we've got some really beautiful, colorful palettes here. And I've got a lot of really beautiful, colorful singles. So I went ahead and opened them up like this. That way I can look at my singles and pick accordingly. I only want to pick out a small handful. So what I did is I told you in the beginning of the video, I started compiling all of my favorite sparkly, shifty, indie singles, because I'm going to film a video for you all showcasing those. I have almost 600 of those types of shadows, and I narrowed it down to 150. You're welcome. It took me forever. So, days, literally. So that's what's in these 3 palettes here are my absolute favorites out of all the ones I have. And those are the ones I'm going to pick from. So, let's do that. That one is stunning. Just yumminess. And I bet one of those is probably like that. Not quite. So the one I swatched is called Galeen, and it's a new one from Davina. I'm going to pull that one. That's a really pretty blue to go along with either of those. Oh man, that one's got to be picked too. I think this one is Palamon. I'm not sure if that's how you say it. Oh yeah. Man, Davina came out with a new collection, and they are so beautiful. I think this is also from that collection. I don't want to pick all Davina though, so... God, but look at those. They killed it with this last collection. I'm not picking that one though, because it's not going to really go along with the ones I have, with the palettes I have. Okay, I think that's all I want from this palette. Yep, that's it for that one. This whole book is full. God, look at some of these. Oh, I love that one. I think that one's Takeover by Shine by SD. There's just so many good ones. This is really, really difficult. How does that look like that? You know what I mean? What? Okay, I could sit here all day and swatch these types of shadows, so we're not gonna do that. You know, I really want to use this one because this one is like otherworldly. It's beautiful. And I feel like I could probably do that with some of the mattes I have. I think this one is from, oh yeah, this is Dragonfly and it's from Pastel Rose. I recently got this and it is probably one of my favorites. I just can't get over how beautiful it is. Stunning. Like, look how bright it is. And then also grungy. It's just yummy, right? Like, I could probably use it here. I'm pulling it. I don't care. I can't wait to do my singles, my favorites video for you guys. Oh, it's breaking. Get back in there. You're not allowed to do that. Ooh, this is another one that I've really been wanting to try. Whoops. God, I hate that it does that. This one is also from Pastel Rose, and it's called Antique, if I can get it to focus. And again, come on now. There's just a lot going on. It is so pretty. It's grungy, but it's also got that green in there. I feel like I can get it to work with this palette here. That would be really beautiful. Show you the swatch here. You see what I mean? There's just so much going on. And it's so much more shifty in person. But I feel like that would look really nice with that palette. So I'm pulling it. This is like the third page to that shadow book. This shade here is called Perihelion from Terra Moons. Goodness, it's having a hard time focusing. Beautiful green shadow, but it could go with that palette. It's so shifty. Really, it could go with either of those. I haven't found anything to go with the Chucky palette, though, and that's... I really do need to find something. And last but not least, I have the shadows in this palette. This has some grungier shades in it. Like those two. Solar Expansion, I've definitely used that one before. It's really beautiful. And then Protostar is another one. It's a really deep shade and it's got some different colored sparkles in there. We got some really beautiful purples down here too. God, look at that one. This one's called Zenith. I don't think I've used that one. But you know what? That would definitely go with that. So let's pull it. Look at that. So pretty. I kind of want to pull this shade up here. I think that's Diadem, if that's how you say that. It is. I feel like that would go really well with this palette. And even this palette. And then I think that's going to be it. Oh, and that it would go well with that too. But that's it. I think that's plenty. It's this swatch right there. Look at that. Really beautiful. Definitely some grungier shadows this time around. But I think that was called for with this selection of palettes. So, anyhow, that is going to wrap up this Shop My Stash / Declutter / review of last month. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you made it this far and you're not subscribed yet, please don't forget to tap that subscribe button if you enjoyed my content. Don't forget to like this video if you liked the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.